Hey guys, and welcome to this week's sound segment. We're nearly at the end of the video. Thank you very much for sticking by. If you've liked anything so far, then maybe consider hitting the like, subscribe, comment button, or even just notifications so that you don't miss any future videos. Anyway, this is going to be a slightly longer one, so if you haven't got the time or you don't really care, hit that X button and, go and watch a cat meme or something. But Matt Bellamy, for those that know him, the sounds that he gets live and in the studio are so eclectic and so incredible in the sort of ingenious, sort of innovative use of effects and valve amps and stuff that I really spent quite a long time trying to get these sounds as close as I could, and I'll explain a little bit more to why I've used the sounds I have in a little while. But yeah, this is going to be a slightly longer sound segment because it is Matt Bellamy from Muse. So let's start with the guitar. The main one, or the one that played that guitar part, that guitar thing, was my 2007 Gibson SG. It's completely stock, apart from the strap locks, but I believe that they're classic 57s in here, but I might be wrong, and it might be the 490 and the 498T in the bridge respectively. I really don't know. I got this second hand, and I mean, I must have got it 10 years after it was made. I just couldn't find anything on the website about what it was. I found out what it could be, but I don't know. Probably should take the pickups out and find out. But they felt slightly hotter than both my Explorer and my Les Paul, which both run burst buckers. So just to push bias effects a little more, although I know just that higher gain, higher output thing, it just seemed to work a little better than the others. And then it's strung with Rotosound Blues, so they're the 10 to 52s. Anyway, all of these were running into bias effects. Ignore the Victory, that's here for a video that I'll be filming in a couple of minutes, and also for the aesthetic nuance. Anyway, yeah, so this first song I used the trusty, their orange V30 version 2, the British V30 or the British BR, whatever the hell, that bias effects orange amp, my staple, the one that I love the most. And I was just driving that with some gain. The mids and the treble were pushed, and then I also ran the Vintage Fuzz in front of that. Now the reason that I didn't use or acquire a Zvex for this cover is, although quite obviously in the recording that is a Zvex Fuzz Factory, I mean, I say that, if you listen to it, it's such a tapey, velcro-y, gated fuzz. I assume that has to be, but he might not, he might be been using something else. But for live, he certainly doesn't seem to use that sound. It's much more of his generic blended overdrive fuzz sound, not just... And I focused more on that as a sound and a tone to use, because in all honesty, it just sits slightly better in the mix for me personally. But I understand it's maybe not an accurate recreation of the album, and more a recreation of what he does live. And I was aware of that when I was picking the sounds, and just for me personally, that was what I felt had a... I was able to do the beginning riff, then that first solo, into then the... just all the sounds and the verses and stuff just works slightly better with controlling the volume knob and running with overdrives and stuff rather than that fuzz. So that's why I made that decision. There is a bit of delay on there, and there is a bit of reverb on there just to add depth and width. But we also know that Matt Bellamy and Muse are very heavy in their use of delays and stuff, so I felt that worked. I then did do a second guitar that I would almost put down as a rhythm layer, and I did that, didn't have to, it's only in a couple of bits, and that was on my Explorer. And that's because I wasn't as worried about that smacking people in the face, so was able to go with that slightly less, or slightly lower output pickups, and I think that worked as well. That was a very basic sound. I think that just ran into the Bias Effects JTM 45 overdriven, and then I think that's pretty much it. That sat nice and basic because it was just a layer, and I think I used it to harmonise with the main part, which I don't think is actually in the song, but it was something that me and a band used to do a long time ago, and it kind of worked and added something to the sound, so I put that in there as well. And then the final thing that I recorded with the Explorer as well would have been the synth solo at the end. Now that was quite basic again. I think I started with the Bias FX Orange modeler, and I used delay and a reverb, slightly more wet mix on those two. Then, because it's a synth, and you know the guitar does work fine, but I added an octave pedal. So the dry signal was about 12 o'clock, and then the octave below was about 12 o'clock, and then I had slightly less mix of the high octave, or the octave above. And the reason I did that was because it's all kind of, you know, it's all up here. I felt like I didn't need to have an octave of essentially the 24th fret poking people in the ear. For me, that wouldn't be something that I would put in. But then again, at the same time, I guess I was supposed to be Muse. So anyway, that was that. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, as I said, like, comment and subscribe. But if not, I'll just see you at the next video. Take care. Cheers.